Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omaomi aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing a particular situation that I saw on Reddit. So this is a Reddit story time Reddit situation. Now this story is from a Reddit subpage which is the AITAH. That I think means am I the a-hole? So in that subpage, people share some things that they've done, and then they ask people if they are overreacting, if they are an AO for doing such things. Now, this particular story is from a woman who says that she gave her husband full custody of both of their children. So I'm going to read it and share what I think. Then I hope you guys will share your own thoughts about it. So please leave your comment in the comment section after listening to the story. So let's check out the story and then I will share my thoughts. So she said, I just found out that my husband of 5 years was cheating on me and getting ready to take another wife without my knowledge. I come from a Muslim household, and in Islam, men can have up to 4 wives, but it isn't lawful for him to do so without the explicit consent of his first wife. And on top of that, he has to be capable of giving equal love and care to all his wives. I and millions of women today don't like this law, since it has no place in the modern world. It came down to us in a time of turbulence and was to protect women the only way they could be hundreds of years ago. Many young and educated women today never consent to sharing their husband, but it is unfortunately prevalent due to misogyny. Because we live in a mainly patriarchy world, many men abuse this law and F over their wives and families. In my community, many men do exactly this and marry other women without the consent of their first wife and leave them rearing children all alone with minimal or no help. I'm an educated woman, young, I have a supportive family, and I truly never thought this would ever happen to me, but it did. Well, after finding out through rumors that he's taking a wife back in the homeland, his family and mine came together to talk. My in-laws had the audacity to ask me to be peaceful and not make things hard for my husband. Let's continue. My parents were extremely angry, especially my father, because even though my in-laws were promising that my husband would still be my husband and do all his duties, he did not believe them, and neither did I. After the in-laws tried to gaslight us by saying a wife shouldn't be spiteful, these people are just annoying me already, and other nonsense, I laughed in their face and told them I would never ever become a single mother with a living husband, and right there and then gave my toddler to my mother-in-law and my infant son to my father-in-law. Man! My parents looked at me with shock, but I stood up for myself and told my father in front of everyone that I have always told him that I would rather die before I'd raise the children of a trash can of a man. Wow! I'd have to deal with him for the rest of my life, and turned around to leave. My family and in-laws were stunned and just looked at me as I took my purse and left. If you're wondering why it was so easy for me to give up my kids, it's because I never bonded with them properly. Both my pregnancies were extremely difficult, and I hadn't gotten over my postpartum depression from my first child. I'd added stress from my newborn, who was always crying and screaming no matter what I did. Their father was of no help and truly made my life worse by not being there for me. My heart was filled with so much hatred and anger and contempt. I swear I thought I would lose my mind and harm my children. I was so unstable that I was afraid of being left alone with them. After that terrible meeting today, that's why I gave them up. I could just picture what my life was going to look like with them in it in the future at that moment, and I didn't like what I saw. My mother called me to berate me, and my father was mostly silent and crying. I told my mother that she was lucky to have a husband like my father, and she didn't understand 1% of what I was going through. She told me to take my children back and give them to her as she would raise them. She didn't want to part with her grandkids. I asked her what was the big deal, since men do this all the time and leave their wives and children to be cared for by his in-laws. I told her I'm not going to be one of them. We started arguing, and I screamed at her that she was getting old, and in no way was I dumping two children on her lap like my auntie did to my grandmother, and hung up before she could get a word in. Right now, as I am in my hotel room, my heart feels empty and I feel a distant sense of guilt, but overall, like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. The reason why I'm writing this is to ask an outside perspective. Is what I did right? Am I betraying my children? I truly do not want to raise two children all alone and become bitter for the rest of my life and deal with their father. I'm contacting a lawyer to give up my full parental rights to my husband and pay child support if I have to. Wow. Now this story is saddening, and I understand where she's coming from, especially when she talked about the postpartum depression. I think giving the kids to the grandparents at this point in time might be a good thing for her, because if she doesn't feel connected to kids, if she's always having disturbing thoughts, it's not good for her to be alone with those kids, especially as her husband is giving her so much stress and trying to marry another wife. Now, I feel like she should have given it to her own parents, not the parents of the boy, because at the end of the day, they are going to dump those children to the new wife, and the new wife might not like the kids being with her and she taking care of the kids, and might maltreat them. So I feel like she should have left the kids with her own parents. But the idea of leaving the kids with the man just to show him that he is a deadbeat person, it's not something that I'm not going to say that I don't like. Because some men are just something else, and maybe that would have been a wake-up call. But she eventually left them with the parents of the man. So he would definitely go away and not do anything. But I'm sure that shock of her leaving the kids with them would have just made them think, okay, this woman is not a pushover. Because after they've tried to gaslight her, she just dropped the kids and said, bye bye, I'm going. Anyway, let's check out some of the comments that some people had. Someone said this, but I think the answer is a very, very soft ESH. I don't know, maybe ish. A very soft ish. The obvious asshole is the husband. No explanation is required. OP, I think the original poster, parents and in-law are also wrong, although I don't think that the in-laws are as wrong as the OP's parents. The least wrong in this situation is OP, but she's still wrong. Abandoning your children is wrong no matter what, but when you do it for the right reasons, I can't fault you for it much. The way you abandon your kids too also matter. To the OP, you need help for your postpartum depression. I actually agree with that. You would also need help dealing with your parents and your in-laws. I don't know if a psychologist is enough. You might need a psychiatrist, but please get the help you need and soon. And also consult a lawyer and divorce that POS you married. Someone replied to that comment, I disagree when the safety of a child are in her mind. So many times we tell parents to walk away, don't harm the children, and then when a woman does walk away, we judge her wrong. Nope, she did the right thing. Another person said, and why do we automatically assume that the kids will be better off with the mom? She didn't give them away to a stranger. She handed them to their father and grandparents. Maybe if he has to look after his kids and actually be a parent, he won't have time to sleep with multiple women. Let the OP focus on her mental health. She actually needs to focus on her mental health, and she needs help taking care of the kids. That's an established fact at this point. Not to mention the fact that if her husband is from a Muslim country that permits polygamy, then chances are the country doesn't recognize any right of the mother, isn't part of the Hague Convention, and the whole P very likely has no right to keep her own children. Her husband likely could take her children from her back to his home country, and she would have absolutely no recourse to ever get them back. Someone said, almost happened to my aunt-in-law. Luckily, not so little anymore. Cousins-in-law were also citizens of our country, and their grandma paid for their health insurance, which helped to prove that they were not citizens in name alone. Someone said, alternatively, the father could hold a grudge and mistreat those two, favoring siblings with a good mother, leaving them to be abused and neglected because they are children. That's another thing that is a possibility. Like I said, the new wife might mistreat the kids, but also the husband might mistreat the kids. Anyway, after thousands and thousands of comments, the Reddit post has like over 2,000 comments. She came back with an update, so a follow up to our post. Now, she said, "Firstly, I would like to thank every single person who genuinely DM'd me and gave me advice on how to move forward. I would like to also give thanks to every single one of you good people here who took time off your own day to advise me. When I first wrote the post, I wrote it through tears, but after reading your comments, taking a break to pray and eat, came back and read all of your stories of struggle from both Muslim and non-Muslim, I've calmed down immensely. I want to extend love and gratitude for helping me feel a bit less crazy than I did before. I'll be taking all of your advice. I'll make sure to hold off on signing over my parental rights. Second, I will meet with a mental health professional to get treatment for my PPD, postpartum depression. Third, I will talk to my family about whether the kids should be with their father for now or with them. Truthfully, I was so desperate that I wanted to cut all remnants of my husband, but after reading your comment, this is my life now. Yes, being a single mother has been my worst nightmare after believing I would be breaking the cultural curse, but here I am. I will be going to immigration and I will tell them about the second wife since it's illegal to have more than one wife in our country. I would be getting a divorce legally from the state and then Islamically. I'll be talking to a lawyer about giving the kids to my parents or see if it is better to have a 50-50 co-parenting. I will discuss with both my therapist, doctor, and lawyer. Once again, I want to extend thanks and gratitude to all of you. I'll make sure to inspect myself inwardly and do what I feel is best for my kids and future. Keep me in your prayers, and I hope we can all start the new year with clear minds and open hearts. Thank you all so much." Okay, so she's deciding not to do anything rash for now. She's going to see a doctor, which is a good idea. Try and work on her mental health. She's also going to talk to her parents to discuss if it's better for the kids to be with her parents or if it should be a 50-50 situation. She's also going to talk to a lawyer to get a divorce, both legally and Islamically. And I think that is actually a good plan. If she really does not want to be with the husband, and I really don't want her to be with that husband because our in-laws are very weird people and very terrible people. What do you mean by a wife should not be spiteful? When he took another wife without her consent, and she probably never agreed for him to take another wife after her. So why would they now try to gaslight her and make her look like a bad person? In that kind of case, she really cannot deal with those kind of people. She really should not associate with those kind of people because they will just use her and manipulate her and get her to do what she doesn't want to do. So I feel like her cutting off all type of connection with them is a great thing for herself, because right now she's even struggling with her mental health. She doesn't need any more stress, and the husband, like somebody said, is a hero, so it should continue. Obviously, now that she's deciding that she's going to divorce him legally and also reporting, he's going to begin to feel a bit of panic and probably will try to resolve the issue, but he has already married another wife, so I don't know what he's going to do. Let me try. I'm not so bothered about him. I'm bothered about the original poster. I really hope she gets help with her mental health. I really hope that she begins to feel a connection to our kids. Postpartum depression is something that scares me because you don't even know if you're going to have it when you're pregnant. You don't even know anything. It just happens, and it's a long journey to get to a place where you don't feel like you want to harm your kids and you begin to love your kids and love yourself. So I'm really hopeful for her, and I hope she goes through with seeking help. I hope she gets all the help legally and with her mental health and gets rid of her husband, and I hope our family are able to support her through this period that she is going through. Anyway, I don't know what you guys think about this whole situation. I would love to hear your thoughts about the whole situation, the original post and the update. Do you think the husband is the a-hole, or do you think she was wrong in dropping her kids with the parents-in-law? I would love to hear your thoughts. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.